Are you caught in the relentless pursuit of wellness only to find yourself more exhausted and overwhelmed? What if the true path of healing lies not in doing more, but in embracing simplicity? And in this episode, we'll explore how overcomplicating your wellness routine may be hindering your progress. And I will share with you three simple shifts that you can make to help you break free and reclaim your energy and truly heal. So, join me as we uncover the hidden costs of complexity and discover the liberating power of simplicity in your wellness journey. Over the past few years, I have found myself being drawn to decluttering and minimizing and making space in my life in various ways. And I've been taking the help of different books to do that. And if you want to ask me why, it's to, see more abundance, more joy, more pleasure, and more peace in my life. I think this is something that I've come to value beyond over and beyond other things, other material things. Beyond a point when once we have reached a position of financial stability, I think these are the things that become more important once your day-to-day basic requirements are taken care of. And for me, living life on my own terms, for making mistakes and learning from them, for loving and being loved, these are the things that are really truly important for me, and they bring meaning to my life. But more importantly, making a difference in my own way with the unique strengths, skills, and abilities that I have developed over the last almost 5 decades is what is again important to me now. And if you know me at all, you will know that I am a voracious reader, and it's a lot of things that I have learned over the years: how to live life, how to cut out the non-essential, declutter, and as I talked about, have come from books, by reading about others, how they have succeeded, how they have loved, and how they have lived. And one of the books that I read some time back on decluttering, I really liked it because it goes much beyond the physical decluttering process and making space in one's life. Is Your Spacious Self: Clear the Clutter and Discover Who You Are, by Stephanie Bennett Watt. So it stands apart because it delves into creating awareness around the mental and emotional clutter as well. And I think this is one of the reasons why many people follow certain strategy or tactics to clear their space, but they are not able to actually succeed, or they are not able to sustain. And I think this applies to our health and wellness as well. So as the author writes in her book, no matter how minuscule the task or effort, the fact is that clearing anything consciously and gently, as this book teaches, creates an energetic opening, a spaciousness that will work on you slowly and surely to soften your attachment to things, beliefs, and outcomes. Whether your clutter challenge is the stuff spilling out of your closet or the noise spinning around in your head, or both, here's what I know for sure, distilled to its bare essence: clutter and chatter is not the problem. We do not need fixing. Without awareness, there is no clearing. Clearing is not about any of these things, it is how you relate to them. It is the space between the problem and the solution where the real juice is and where the real clearing happens. And the only way to release what isn't working for you is to enter that sometimes scary zone called feeling the overwhelm, resistance, attachment, guilt, worry, despair, and shame. Feeling it all without judging it as good or bad or taking it personally. I love the way she has put it all together about what decluttering is really it is, and how clearing the space, clearing our mind, clearing our energy is not about fixing anything. And it's the same thing with our health and wellness, right? Whether it's our routines, we have to first become aware of how many unnecessary and trivial things we are spending our energy on, and then we can finally start making progress once we start to eliminate those. And that's what I talk about. That's my new mantra: simplify wellness and amplify life, because I find that this is becoming a bigger and bigger problem as we are dealing with an information overload. So I know someone who has multiple health issues, and her poor sleeping habits are a big contributor to them, and it's been like that for many years now. But instead of focusing on this extremely important part of her health, she's sort of more into what supplements should she take, which diet would be better for her, whether it's this grain or that or gluten free, and which symptom she can work on. But the fact is that unless she understands that she has to streamline her wellness routine, she has to eliminate the practices and the products which are not really serving her, and she has to focus on those few that will actually make a difference. She won't be able to see any real sustainable improvements, and that's exactly what it is. I've known her for many years, and for the past 6 7 years she's been stuck in that same place, and things are getting worse. As with any chronic health condition, either you are moving towards disease or you're moving towards health. It's always a spectrum. It's not one or the other. It's not a black and white thing. You don't get up one day and have a disease. It's been happening for a very long time, and which is why you can always change direction, you can always reverse, you can always move away from disease and towards health. And later in this episode, I share 3 simple shifts that can lead to unexpected benefits, which include enhanced energy, greater consistency, and a deeper mind body connection. And as Henry David Thoreau has said, as you simplify your life, the laws of the universe will be simpler. So let's simplify wellness and amplify life together. So let me know if any of this sounds familiar to you. You're exhausted before your day even begins. So you wake up feeling groggy like you actually didn't rest at all, and your mind starts racing with everything that needs to be done and everything you should be doing for your health. So you should be drinking more water, you should be having the right foods, following a certain diet, taking all the right supplements. But instead of feeling over empowered, you feel burdened with the weight of all these things that you need to do or you should do. Or your energy crashes during the middle of the day. You grab coffee, maybe a snack to just help you get through the day, but the cycle continues. You have temporary energy spurt followed by again another crash. So you don't know whether it's your hormones, your metabolism, or just the way things are for you right now. Or you may even feel like you're doing everything right, but nothing is changing. So you've tried the diets, you've tried the supplements that people are talking about, the latest trends, the workouts, the wellness hacks, and you're still dealing with brain fog, bloating, or the stubborn weight around your middle. And that's not really budging. And it's really frustrating, it's exhausting. And worst of all, you feel like you're failing because you're trying so hard. And it may be that your wellness routine feels like another job. So instead of feeling nourished and supported by your habits, you feel now trapped by them because you're doing so many things. It's like a never ending checklist. And somehow you are left wondering, why don't I feel better? So you struggle to relax. And even when you try, so it's not that you're not trying, you are trying meditation, you're trying deep breathing, you're like mindful drinking a cup of tea, but your mind just won't slow down. So if it sounds familiar, I see you and I hear you. And it's something that is so common, and I promise you it's not your fault. And the problem is not that you're not trying hard enough. The problem is that your wellness routine may be working against you. And that's exactly what we are going to change today. So, in just a moment, I will walk you through 3 simple shifts that will help you to streamline your wellness routine, eliminate the clutter, and finally unlock the energy that you've been chasing. So, healing is actually not about doing more, it's about doing what actually works. And this is something that most people don't get. So, let's dive in straight away. So, if you've been trying out different things, pretty much everything under the sun, special diet, supplement, complicated morning routines, and you still wake up feeling tired, sluggish, and wondering why nothing is working, here's the truth. The problem isn't you, it's the hidden stress of an overcomplicated wellness routine. So let me explain this. Your body is actually feeling overwhelmed rather than feeling supported. Because when you throw too many things at your body, you're trying too many different things, especially if you're changing diets frequently, you're taking multiple supplements without really knowing why you're taking and what for, and you're forcing yourself into rigid workout routines, you're not giving yourself and your body space to heal. So you're instead putting it under constant threat, and it's this constant state of stress which keeps your nervous system actually stuck in fight or flight response, and that's the reason you're not feeling any better. or you're focusing on fixing instead of feeling, right? As the author says in her book, a lot of times it's we try and fix things. So your wellness approach is built around solving one symptom at a time. So you're taking one supplement for sleep, you're taking one for energy and another one for digestion, but you're missing the bigger picture. And this is so common, because I work, from the functional medicine paradigm, where we talk about addressing the root cause of disease. But even in the functional medicine space, I see so many practitioners and give so many of their clients a lot of supplements. I mean, I've had a client who was given a list of 30 supplements to take without any explanation what she was taking and for why, and why she needed so many supplements in the first place. And it's a problem because you're not seeing the bigger picture, and you're taking one for this. It's instead of polypharmacy where you're taking multiple medications, now you have moved to polysupplementation, and your body doesn't heal like this. It doesn't work in isolated parts. So when you stop micromanaging and start listening to your body, that's when the healing happens. Or your energy leaks are draining your vitality. So every decision that you're making about your health, should I try this diet, this is the best supplement, am I doing enough, this creates a lot of mental clutter. So it's not just the physical aspects of your wellness routine that you need to take care of. You need to also understand what is the mental clutter and chatter going on. So this constant overthinking also drains your energy more often than you think. Or this is very common and true, you're skipping the foundational habits that actually make the difference. You cannot, as I say, that you cannot over exercise, you cannot exercise your way out of a bad diet, you cannot supplement your way out of without doing the basic things. So whether it's deep sleep, movement, nutrition, stress reduction, these are not very catchy or flashy or glamorous, and they don't come in a pill most of the time, but they are what your body needs the most. So if these aren't solid, if your foundation is not solid, no amount of superfoods or biohacking is or supplements is going to help. But the real issue is not that you need to do more. The real issue is that you need to simplify. And the reason you need to simplify is that you can focus on the few essential habits that actually restore your energy and help your body to heal. And that's exactly what we're going to do next. Now, let's talk about after this the three simple shifts that will help you streamline your wellness routine and help you finally start feeling better without the stress, without the overwhelm, or this constant guessing game. But before that, if you are here, chances are that you've already put in the effort. You're not new to wellness. You've been trying different things. You've researched, you've experimented, and you've tried everything that's supposed to work. But despite your best efforts, you're still feeling stuck, exhausted, and frustrated. This is more common than you think. I don't want you to blame yourself. This is what we are constantly taking in from media, from in the in you know health influencers, from books, that we need to do all these things. That's absolutely not true. You don't need to do everything. You need to do a few things, and you need to do them well, and you need to understand why you are doing those things, and because that has to be in line with what your body actually needs. So let's take a look at what you've probably tried, and this is why it hasn't given you the results that you're looking for. One is a supplement spiral. And as I talked about it, that I think there's a danger of that we are moving from over medicating to over supplementing, right? This is a big problem as I see in the functional medicine space. Of course, not everyone does this. And the same with doctors, but same with functional medicine practitioners. Not everyone is doing this, but this is happening more and more often right now. That instead of putting in the work, instead of putting in the effort to create a strong healthy foundation for long term health, we are trying to first start with supplements, like 20 supplements. Take one for this, take one for fatigue, take one for your migraines, take one for, I mean, that's not the way it can help you. So you've probably spent time and money on supplements, hoping that they will be the missing link. So you've taken magnesium for sleep, you've taken adaptogens for stress, and you've taken probiotics for digestion. But instead of feeling better, you're left wondering, am I taking the right supplements? Why do some work for a while and then stop? Or do I need to add more? Change brands, take them at a different time? These are not the questions that you need to be asking initially. Yes, at a later stage, when you've done the work, when you've set the foundation, sorry, you will, when you reach the stage where the supplements will be an add-on, when they will be helpful to you, yes, you can get into this with the help of a practitioner or a functional medicine coach who knows about supplementation. But The reason that it hasn't worked is they can be supportive, but they cannot replace foundational healing. So if your body is running on empty due to chronic stress, poor sleep, or lack of nourishment, no amount of supplementation is going to help. The second reason that people struggle is because they're chasing the perfect diet. So maybe you've tried cutting out dairy, gluten, or sugar, and maybe you've followed keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, plant based approach, and each time you hope that it would be the answer. And you may have even seen some initial improvements. But eventually you felt restricted because you're constantly thinking about what you can't eat. Right, that's the most common thing, and you struggle with cravings or low energy or both, and you found yourself in a cycle of strict diet rules that followed by burnout, right? When you're doing this for a long time and then you don't see results, it's really really demoralizing as well. So because healing is not about following someone else's ideal diet, and that's what we typically end up doing. Some Because veganism has helped somebody else, we start a vegan diet. Because paleo has helped someone else, we start that too. It is about tuning into what your body actually thrives on, because food is meant to nourish you, not stress you out. So if your diet feels like a struggle, it's likely causing you more harm right now than good. And in fact, in my previous episode 45, why listening to your body works better than counting calories and how to start, I have delved deeper into this topic, and I'm going to share that link with you below. And the third reason that these it doesn't people struggle and it doesn't work when they're trying literally everything is overloading on wellness practices. You're trying too many things at the same time. So you're trying morning routine with meditation, journaling, breath work, stretching, yoga. You're trying workouts that you don't enjoy but you think you should be doing, and you're trying different biohacking techniques like bulletproof coffee, cold showers, red light therapy, sauna, steam. You're trying everything, right? And instead of feeling rejuvenated, you're feeling overwhelmed. Like wellness has literally become your second job, and that's not a good place to be in, because more isn't always better. When wellness starts feeling exhausting, it creates stress instead of relief. Because healing happens when you simplify, not when you stack more practices on top of an already overloaded life. And this is something that I'm very, very aware of when I'm working with my clients. My clients are women with chronic health conditions, complex chronic health conditions such as autoimmune disease, and they are already overloaded by so many things that they have to take care of. Often they come with multiple diagnoses, so they're already on multiple medications, they're seeing multiple specialists, and it's not going to help them if I add on 20 more things that they need to do. So we need to sit down and figure out what's going to move the needle for them, and that's exactly what we do, and we do it one step at a time, and that's what makes the difference. And the fourth reason why people don't see the results is that they try to fix individual symptoms instead of focusing the root causes, and unfortunately they often don't get the guidance on figuring out how exactly to do this. Because if they are working with a conventional approach, or a conventional medical professional who's not who doesn't know how to do this, then that's why they are stuck, right? So which is why often in the case of complex chronic health conditions, while you're already working with a conventional approach, which is your medical professional mainstream, you also probably need to work with a functional medicine, either health coach or a practitioner, depending on what your requirements are. So if you're trying to fix individual symptoms like sleeping and you have taken melatonin, or you're trying to figure out why you have low energy and you drink more coffee or add another supplement, or you have weight gain and you cut calories or try and exercise harder, but the symptoms keep shifting. Today it's this, tomorrow it's something else, day after it's something else, and you fix one thing and another one pops up and you don't know what's happening. And the reason is your body isn't a collection of separate problems, it's one interconnected system, and all these symptoms are connected to each other. And your body is not static either, neither is the immune system. So these things keep on shifting, right? Even if you take I tell my clients, and I'm telling you, that even if you take a snapshot in the sense of taking drawing blood and figuring out what your markers are today, tomorrow when you do that, it'll change, right? Your body is not static. So the problem again is not that you're not trying hard enough. The problem is that the wellness industry makes healing feel complicated, and the amount of information that is bombarding you from everywhere, it obviously is not helping you. But the good news is that it doesn't have to be this way. And in the next part of this episode, I'll finally share with you the three simple shifts that will help you break free from the overwhelm, restore your energy, and finally see lasting results. So let's make healing feel easy again. And as I said, and as I've been saying, you don't need more supplements, stricter diets, or another complicated wellness routine. What you need is to clear the clutter. You need to simplify your approach and focus on what will really make a difference. And these three simple shifts will help you streamline and do just that. So, number one, focus on the foundations, not the fixes. And I keep talking about creating a healthy foundation. It's exactly as if you were trying to construct a tall building. You need the foundation to be very strong. If you want that big building, the quality, the kind that you want, which will look nice not only from outside but will also be strong from within, you have to lay a proper foundation. It has to be deep enough, right? That's the case. Excuse me. Similarly, for you, for your health, it is exactly the same thing. So you need to prioritize sleep, nourishment, movement, stress reduction. These are non-negotiable pillars of healing. And in fact, in my unique body-wise healing framework, which I use in my coaching program, in my body wise transformation journey, which is a new upgraded program that is coming up. It's a 6-month coaching program for women with autoimmune and other chronic conditions. I use the three pillars of simplify, reconnect, and sustain, because that's what, these three pillars work together. And while I talk about supplements, while I do all of it, it starts with these basics, right? And I'm talking about them right now. I'm giving you exactly what I work with my clients first. One is the sleep. Before you add another supplement, I want you to focus on your sleep hygiene. So, because without deep restorative sleep, your body just cannot heal. You can do anything and everything else right, but if you don't get this part in place, you will probably not see the improvements. So, you need to aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, even if it means adjusting your sleeping or evening habits just prior to that. And there are ways that you can wind down in the evening, that you can start relaxing. You need to have an evening routine, and you need to have a calming bedtime routine so that your body gets the message that it's time to relax, it's time to rest. If your body gets the message that there's a threat, and there's a stimulating environment, and it feels that there is a threat around the corner. That typically happens when we watch a lot of news just before going to bed, or there's a lot of violence, or we're reading, or we're fighting. Then your body is getting just the opposite message, and you will not get a deep restful sleep. The other thing is nourish without stress. Instead of obsessing over which diet is the best, simplify by eating whole nutrient dense foods that make you feel good without the rigid rules. Start here. And then, of course, depending on what you are dealing with, if you already have existing health issues, like if you already have an autoimmune condition diagnosis, then yes, you need to get off gluten and dairy. But you can start here, and you will start seeing some results, some improvements immediately. The third thing is move gently and consistently. You don't need to force high intensity workouts if they are leaving you drained right now. There are times, and especially if you're dealing with a lot, if your body is going through a lot right now, if there's a massive flare up, then you need to find movement that feels good and energizes you. Whether it's walking, stretching, dancing, swimming, yoga, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you enjoy doing that, right? So you need to find a way to move your body that feels good for you. And of course, you need to manage stress daily. Your body cannot heal in a constant state of stress. And most of us don't realize the amount of stress that we are living with, right? Because it's not the stress that we think we have, but there's an undercurrent of chronic stress. So simple practices like breath work, nature walks, or even setting boundaries around what you will do and what you will not do can make a huge difference. So these are things that my body wise healing framework takes my clients through, and we work through that. And the reason it works is because when you stop micromanaging your symptoms and you strengthen the foundations, your body starts to balance itself. It starts to come back into balance, which means your hormones start to come back into balance. It means your nervous system starts to shift from the fight or flight to the rest and digest. All these things happen simultaneously, and that's the beauty. You don't have to work on it one thing at a time. They are all interconnected. When one thing starts to shift, several other things starts to improve as well. So the shift that you need to make is focus on the foundations, not the fixes. The second shift that you need to make is simplify your wellness routine to reduce decision fatigue. Listen, decision fatigue is real. I don't know if you're aware of this term. I came across this term only some years ago. I wasn't aware that there was anything called decision fatigue. It's how you feel when you have to decide, when you have to decide what clothes to wear, what foods to eat, and the fact which toothpaste to buy when you have 50 options in front of you. This is real, right? And it's similarly when it comes to our health choices, when you and then when your routine, when you feel that you need to do everything because everybody else is seemingly doing it, whether it's morning routines, strict diet, supplements, workout plans, and many other things, then that is what you end up with. So this decision fatigue is real, and then you need to simplify it, right? And that will take a lot of stress off your plate. So what you can do is create a simple repeatable routine that removes the guesswork. So this is what I'm going to do when I'm wake up. After when I wake up, I'll do this, then after that I'll do this, and just two or three things that that makes sense, that has worked for you, that helps you to feel better during the day. Then again, maybe in the middle of the day you do a couple of things, then at the end. So you have these things throughout your day to help you to get the most out of it. These are 3 to 5 non-negotiable habits that actually make you feel good, and you have to do them consistently, right? That's the key here. So for example, if you get up and drink water first thing in the morning, that's a brilliant way to start the day. And you get some sunlight and you stretch for 5 minutes, and you prioritize protein for breakfast. This is simple, sustainable, and effective. So you can do this throughout the day. You take these 3 to 5 steps, not more than that, and you keep doing this. And this is something that you can do every single day. And you, of course, ditch the unnecessary steps. So if a habit supplement of practice is not really making any difference, and you can make out, I mean, if you tune in, if you're aware, if you pay attention, you will be able to make out whether it's making a difference or not. And you can choose to let it go because it's not serving you. And the other thing is that really helps with decision fatigue, and it's not only with wellness routines, but it's pretty much any area of your life, is to automate decisions. You can decide on the menu for the entire week. You can set a bedtime alarm so you don't have to remind yourself, I need to go to bed, and start winding down. You can schedule a movement class, and I do so many of these things. I actually decide on the menu, not always, but try and decide on the next day's menu in advance. I do take out my workout clothes, and I know which workout I'll be doing the next day. Just takes the guesswork out in the morning. And then if I, that day, for some reason, if I don't feel out working out, up comes a reminder telling me, okay, this is a workout you wanted to do, right? You're scheduled to do today. And more often than not, I'll end up doing it because it just come and it just made it easy for me. I have to just click and just follow that workout. So I do a mix of bar 3, which is basically ballet infused workout. I do dance because I love dance workout. I'll do foam rolling. So I'll do a mix, and I usually try and put it on my calendar. That's actually a hack I'm just sharing with you. Whatever you think is important, you need to put it on your calendar, especially if you're struggling to do it, or if you need some help with it, like I do. So I know that in the morning, sometimes, my mornings get away from me. So I need to put it on my calendar. So that really, really works. When you put it on your calendar, it's like an appointment with yourself. So wellness actually the reason it works is because when wellness feels effortless, you actually stick to it. The third shift is listen to your body, not just the wellness trends. I mean, I don't know how many times I repeat myself that following generic wellness advice is going to only leave you more frustrated because it will not work for you. This is something that I teach my clients in the same framework that I just talked about, body wise healing, because body awareness, which is the reconnect pillar, there are 3 pillars: simplify, reconnect, and sustain. The body awareness is under the reconnect pillar because you're connecting with your body, reconnecting with your body, and you're developing a deeper connection with your body's signals. So you can start asking yourself questions like, how does this food make me feel when you're eating? And does this workout energize me or drain me, right? After a workout, is this supplement actually helping? So you need to experiment. And if something feels stressful, restrictive, exhausting, it may not be the right approach for you, even if it is working for someone else. So, because wellness should feel supportive, not punishing. That's something that you need to understand. And healing is also not about dramatic shifts overnight. It's not a linear movement curve. It's going to have its ups and downs. It's about consistent intuitive choices that should feel good for you, and it should work for your body. And that's, what happens, and my clients get amazed and surprised that when you stop outsourcing your wellness decisions and you start trusting your own body, healing becomes not only natural, it becomes sustainable, and you feel free. It's the most empowering feeling when you have to stop relying on others for each and every decision that you make. So, by simplifying your wellness routine instead of complicating it, you will have more energy than you ever expected without stimulants or supplements. You will have consistency without burnout, and you will have less second guessing, and you will trust more in your body, and you will feel, you will heal in a way that feels natural and aligned. And right now you might be exhausted, and you may not be just physically but be mentally and emotionally, because you're tired of feeling like your body is working against you. So tired, you might be tired of trying every diet, supplement, wellness tip, only to be remain stuck in the same cycle of fatigue, inflammation. So, as I said, it's not because you're not trying hard enough, it's because the system you're following is broken, which is why this is so important. The three simple shifts that I shared with you is so important, because autoimmune health, complex health is overwhelming, it's contradictory. I mean, the advice that we get is often overwhelming. There's too much of information, too much advice, and it's contradictory. So this is why we all struggle. So one doctor says you cut the carbs, another says add more, one person says take this supplement, somebody else warns against it, and in the middle of this you're left exhausted, and you're confused, and you're still looking for answers. And that's why I want you to know healing doesn't have to be this hard. By following these three simple shifts, by simplifying your approach, you stop chasing every new wellness trend, because true healing isn't about adding more. It's about removing what's draining you and creating space for real transformation. And I talked about in the book that I shared, Your Spacious Self, and that's why the book appeals to me so much. If you have any questions, you can connect with me at Instagram at the rate Anindita Rungta. And I'm going to show you this inside my upcoming work masterclass. It's called Autoimmune Breakthrough Masterclass: Reclaim Energy and Simplify Your Wellness Routine. Because if you're finally ready to get started with this and understand what works and what doesn't, and create a sustainable healing strategy, then join me for this deep dive free masterclass. Spots are limited. I'm going to share the link below. I want you to reserve your space now. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Embrace Your Healing Journey. In the next episode, I will talk about the missing link in wellness that no one is telling you about: emotional healing. And I'll be breaking it down how exactly emotions impact your body much more than you realize. Don't miss it. Let's simplify wellness and amplify healing together.